I have always liked my hometown. I grew up here, and I have fond memories of this city. It was here that I met my love named Carla. We have known each other since school days. This was a very beautiful girl, with wavy blonde hair and green eyes. I was at a friend's birthday party. Friends came to him, among whom was Carla, who I immediately liked. My friend introduced her to me as I had never met her before. We developed friendships and mutual sympathy. I fell madly in love with Carla and she loved me back. We dated for a few years and then got married. It wasn't easy at first. We lived in a rented apartment. There was not enough money for many things, but I worked hard to provide for Carla. She did not really strive for her development, and I did not force her. I believed that I myself should earn enough to provide for both of us. And one day I got a great job, which began to bring me a pretty good income. I did not notice how 18 years have already passed in marriage with Carla. We had a great private house in a good area. Everything here was very beautiful. Neat streets and sidewalks with trimmed bushes and lawns. I successfully worked in a company producing paint and varnish materials. I have successfully closed solid deals around the world for the supply of our products, so I was quite often on business trips. This annoyed me greatly. I always wanted to get back to my wife as soon as possible. Upon arrival, I always brought her various gifts. Carla was a big fashionista, so she simply could not live without new, fashionable things that I bought her in Europe for solid money. Despite my business trips, our life was measured and calm. Carla never gave me a reason to be jealous. I was always confident in her and with a calm soul went on a business trip, not doubting Carla's loyalty. But one day my confidence was shaken. I came from another business trip, as always with a gift and a bouquet of flowers. "Honey, I'm back, where are you?" I said when I went home, hanging my coat on a hanger near the front door. "Hello, my love. I'm making dinner right now. How are you? How's the trip?" Came out of the kitchen. "Carla. Excruciatingly long without you lasted this trip. And so everything is fine," concluded another good deal. I answered with a smile. "Darling, I miss you too," Carla said, hugged me and kissed me. "So, what are we having for dinner?" "I miss homemade food so much. I can smell the amazing smell from the kitchen." Rubbing my hands, I asked Carla, "Your favorite ribs in a creamy sauce. First, wash your hands and sit down at the table, now I'll bring everything," Carla replied with a smile. Carla was an amazing cook. I was always ready to eat 2 servings of everything she cooked. I had a delicious dinner and sat down in my favorite armchair to rest for a while. As I sipped my whiskey, I suddenly noticed something gleaming under the coffee table. I got up from my chair and bent down to pick up this small shiny object. It was a cufflink from a shirt. And I clearly knew whose it was. My friend Henry had the same cufflinks. We were family friends. "Honey, was there someone at home?" I asked Carla carefully. "No, my love, there was no one." "And what makes you think that we had someone at home?" Carla answered, very alarmed. "Nothing, it just seemed. Since you say that there was no one, then it is so," I answered, clutching this cufflink in my hands. From Carla's voice, I immediately understood that she was lying. She never knew how to lie, and now I clearly noticed her inept attempt to hide something. But if she didn't want to tell me anything, then I Had to figure out what was happening here myself. Maybe I'm just winding myself up because of this little thing, and there is a logical explanation for this, but Carla's answer alerted me a lot, and I did not ask about this cufflink. In order not to raise a scandal from scratch, I decided to talk to Henry. The next day I had to go to work. After the end of the working day, I decided to immediately go to Henry's to talk to him. I drove to Henry's house. A few hundred yards away, I noticed the side lights of Henry's car lit up. He was about to go somewhere. I decided to follow him. Henry drove a couple of blocks and came to an abrupt stop near a bus stop. A girl quickly approached the sky. It was hard for me to see, but I noticed that it was clearly not Henry's wife. Henry's wife, Martina, was a brunette. She never dyed a different color. This girl didn't look like Martina at all, she looked more like my wife. The surface of the steering wheel creaked as I clenched my hands tightly in anger at the sight. The girl got into the car with Henry, and they drove on. I rushed after them. We drove up to a small house. Here's a nit, rented a house in the suburbs to fuck my wife, I thought angrily. Henry and the girl got out of the car and quickly entered the house. I called Carla several times, but she did not pick up the phone. I was just shaking with rage. I was ready to kill them on the spot. I did not wait, but simply got out of the car and ran towards this house. I kicked the door open and flew into the room. The girl was already riding Henry in bed. "Oh, you creatures. Well, now I'll show you," I yelled as I stormed out of the room. The girl screamed in fright and jumped off Henry. "Martina? Henry? It is you?" I asked in confusion, recognizing Martina's face. "Damn you, David. What the hell are you doing? You wanted to bring us to a heart attack." Henry yelled. "Guys, I'm sorry, I'm very sorry." I started making excuses. "David, are you out of your mind? What the hell are you doing here?" Martina screamed. "I'm sorry, but Martina, when did you become a blonde?" I asked. "It's a wig, idiot." Martina was outraged. "So, David, let's talk." Henry put on his pants and led me out of the room. "Tell me, what the hell are you doing here, David?" Henry asked. "In general, here, I found your cufflink at home. I remember them well, you boasted that Martina gave them to you. I wanted to go to your place in the evening and talk, but then I saw Martin in this wig. I thought it was Carla. That's my roof and tore off," I told Henry. "Yes, man, well, you have paranoia, of course. Martina and I sometimes play role-playing games. So we decided to have fun. Today she is a blonde stranger, whom I picked up on the street. And I lost my cufflink at your house, probably when I brought perfume and clothes. Martina was in Milan, and Carla asked her to buy some things, and she asked me to deliver. Here I am with these boxes and soda. Cufflink. Martina blew my mind about those cufflinks because they were her gift. Damn, Henry, I'm sorry again, I really imagined something for myself, I don't even know what came over me. It's just that Carla was behaving a little strange, so I began to suspect something was wrong. Yes, boy, well, you give. In general, when I stopped by your house, Frank was your guest, it seems to be your partner in the past. Frank? He is not my partner. At first we communicated well, but he turned out to be a rare bastard. Set. me up in front of management. He had to order a large batch of wood paint, he had to pay, but I didn't. See the money, I wasted a lot of time on it. What the hell was he doing at my house? So, David, I have no idea what Frank was doing at your house, I thought you knew. Just don't get so excited now, or you'll only make things worse for yourself. Don't be stupid, talk to Carla. Yes, Henry. Sorry again, I have a bottle of 18-year-old scotch and a present for Martina. Okay, David, it's late, can you spend the night here? No, Henry, thanks, I'll go home. I apologized to Martina again and drove home. I was terribly uncomfortable in front of the guys. I behaved like a real psychopath. And I would have calmed down, but the story with Frank haunted me. We stopped talking a long time after that incident. And Carla didn't say a word about what he was doing at our house. I felt like Carla was hiding something anyway. And she answered my questions. Suspiciously, tried to change the subject of the conversation. I remembered that I had a couple of small cameras for video communication, I had not used them for a long time. But now they would be useful to me. When Carla wasn't home, I carefully set them up in different rooms, one camera I hid on a shelf above the bar, the other in the bedroom on a chest of drawers. I carefully hid the wires. If I had not known that these cameras were here, I would never have guessed and noticed them. I was about to go on another business trip. And so I went on a business trip, in which every day for me lasted an eternity. I really couldn't eat or sleep, I counted the hours to get home as soon as possible. And now, a week later, I was in my hometown. For the first time, returning home did not bring joy to me. I was afraid to see what I was very afraid of. Carla greeted me as always. It seemed that everything was in order. But as soon as Carla left home for the store, I decided to watch the video from the cameras. Initially, everything was fine. Carla cleaned the house, cooked food, watched TV. After rewinding a couple of days, I saw something that greatly alarmed me. Carla sat at the coffee table and leafed through a magazine. Suddenly the doorbell rang. Carla hurriedly got up from the sofa and ran to the door. That bastard Frank showed up at my house. Hello, baby. Frank greeted with a smile from ear to ear. Hello, Frank. I've been waiting for you. I thought you weren't coming. Carla answered. Well, how could I not drop by to visit my favorite bird? Frank answered. I sat with clenched fists and looked at this communication, nervously jerking my leg. Suddenly Frank grabbed my wife by the ass and dragged her right into our bedroom. Without further ado, he tore off my wife's clothes, put my wife on all fours right on our bed and started fucking her dirty. From what I saw, I just got furious, threw the vase that was on the table against the wall and grabbed my head, quickly and nervously pacing the room. All my suspicions turned out to be justified. This dirty bastard was having fun at my house with my wife while I was abroad. I definitely couldn't stand it. The idea of revenge helped me put all my thoughts in order. I had to punish both my wife and that bastard. Wasting no time, I drove to Simon's. Simon was my friend, he worked in the tax office, and he had quite a lot of connections. I decided to ask him to be able to find information on Frank's enterprise. Frank was definitely hiding something. He was producing children's toys, and I decided to set Simon on him. Frank clearly had not everything legal. Such a bastard simply could not conduct business honestly. And I was not mistaken. Simon was able to find many reasons that could not only complicate Frank's life, but also put him behind bars for a long time. This bastard was not only obscure with the payment of taxes, he also covered the products with cheap toxic paint, which was strictly forbidden to cover products for children. This bastard will now pay in full. I tried to see less of Carla. I already realized that this creature could no longer be my wife. I was waiting for the right moment to take revenge. I told Carla that I would be going on a business trip again soon. It was a quiet, cool evening. Lanterns were burning outside, casting shadows from the trees on the door of my house. Frank was again standing smugly at the door, ringing the doorbell. "Baby, are you there soon? I'm already freezing and I want to quickly try your warm buns in those gorgeous panties," lustfully urged Frank to Carla, so that she quickly opened the door. "Try it better," I shouted. Frank turned around in fright, and I loaded a rubber truncheon in his face. The self-satisfied smile instantly disappeared from the face of this impudent bastard. He flew over the porch. Carla opened the door. "What's going on here?" Carla yelled. "Shut your filthy mouth, whore, I know everything about you," I shouted. "David?" Carla asked in horror. "Yes, bitch, Daddy came home early and for good reason." "David, calm down, please, what are you doing?" Carla tried to calm me down. "Don't make a fool out of me, bitch," I shouted and turned on the video of Carla's betrayal on my phone. "David, forgive me, please." "No, bitch, if I hadn't found out about everything myself, you would have continued to fuck with this bastard behind my back, pretending to be a faithful and loving wife. Now strip naked, quick. All these clothes are not yours. They were bought with my money. And you bastard, get up and strip naked too," I said to Carla and Frank, pointing my gun at them, which I had long ago acquired just in case and registered. "You just can't get away with it." "Spitting blood," said Frank. "Shut your mouth, you bastard, before I knock out the rest of your teeth. I know all about your dirty work in the workplace. Your adventures, Nit, are just beginning." I spoke with anger in Frank's frightened face. I kicked naked Carla out of my house. These bare-assed bastards ran along the road as I shot into the sky with a pistol. And I was not at all sorry if they froze their dirty asses. I collected all of Carla's clothes and burned them. Soon there was a trial at which I successfully divorced the humiliated Carla, even if she was already in clothes, but still with a bare ass, since she had nothing left of my condition. But the bastard Frank could not get out, his production was closed, and he himself found himself behind bars. I was satisfied with my revenge. I was comforted by the thought that I didn't have to go on living with a lying creature.